know power plays are going to put a game away. They're going to help you win, all right, or they're going to cost you. They're going to create or take away momentum, okay, and they're going to deal with players' confidence. When you think about your power play, my guess is your three most talented players, or two of three probably, are out on the ice. Your most offensive defenseman, all right? And when it's not working, they're no different than any other player, all right? Their emotions, they're going to climb. So it's important that as a head coach or as an assistant that you're dealing with your players during those valleys. There's going to be peaks, there's going to be valleys. That's how a power play works. But a player's confidence will be rattled. And don't think it's not. So it's important to get to those players when it's not working. Things you got to consider. The skill level of your players. You may have the same philosophy. For guys that are coaching in the Western League, you may have the same philosophy every year. But you know it as well as I do. As your players graduate, new kids come in, all right, it doesn't always work the same way. All right, the skill level is so critical. All right, the year I took over in Kitchener, we had an opportunity to draft a kid by the name of Ryan Murphy, who's now playing in Carolina. And that was the type of player we had targeted going into that draft. We wanted an offensive defenseman, somebody that could run our power play, transport the puck, play 4-on-4, and maybe even be used in shootouts. Okay? So it was important that that's the type of player we wanted. We wanted skill. All right? The level that you're coaching at. All right? Are you going to work in your power play every day if you're coaching 10 or 11-year-old kids? All right? Probably not. All right? But how are you going to address it? When are you going to address it? If it can't be every Tuesday or every Thursday, how are you going to work on it? All right? To teach the kids the fundamentals of it. You got to consider your opposition, the type of forechecking system they're going to use. Are they aggressive? Are they passive? We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay? And then obviously the amount of practice that you have. Your philosophy. Are you going to teach all your players the power play? I don't know. Right? Obviously in the American Hockey League and junior, in the Ontario Hockey League, that doesn't work. Players are pretty much isolated into roles, and very few times do you have players that do double duty. Some players do, all right, but not a lot of guys do in the National Hockey League. Are you going to have set units or mix the lines? If you mix the lines, that's where it gets dangerous. Because your one unit or your one line was out on the ice for a 5-on-5 shift, you got a power play. Are you going to leave them out there because your top power play guys are out there, but your net front guy's on a different line? Are you going to throw him out there to stay? All right, so you have to think about that as a coach, and this is the time of year to do it when you're looking at your potential teams. All right, who's going to be on your first unit and your second? Development versus winning. All right, obviously at certain levels, it's about winning. At your level, I'm not sure, so you have to consider that. All right, are you going to reward players in the game? You're up 5 or you're down 5. All right, great time to switch things up. Great time to send messages to your best players or the character guys that don't get a lot of power play time. Great opportunity. And then what systems you're going to run. That's all based on your philosophy.